Hello everyone, this is a quick introduction to Module 6. Module 6 is the middle module for the process essay. So in Module 5, you planned your process essay, you chose your topic, and you wrote out a sample thesis statement that you might use. Now what you're going to do is write a rough draft. In Module 7, we'll write the final draft. So the rough draft in this module, you are going to get a rough version of the entire essay written out. So the first thing you'll want to do is go back and look at the feedback that I will leave you once I've graded your essay plan and your thesis statement. I should get this done within the first few days of this module so that you can get started on your rough draft. The only issue might be if you chose a topic that is not a process or that your plan does not show us how it is a process. In this case, you may be having to switch topics, or you may want to email me with some ideas for how to turn your topic into a process. So for example, I do get a lot of students who, not a lot, but some students who will pick a topic like, say, football. And the plan that they have for their essay is basically an informative essay about football, so defining football. The problem is that is not a process. A process is something that goes step by step and has definitive, clear things that you do in order, and that the reader could complete in that same order in order to get the same result. However, if you did say choose football as your topic, there are processes within football that you could use. So, for example, getting ready for a game. Most football players will go through the same sort of ritual in order to get ready for the game. And so you could use that process if you wanted to. Or you might do some other kind of process for like making a play or something like that. So it has to be something, though, that gets completed step by step and in the same order every time. So that is the challenge there. And that may mean that the topic that you chose for your plan will have to be altered a little bit in order to fit into the essay. So in this module, in Module 6, we're doing the rough draft. So let me show you what we're working on here. As you can see, we've got same setup as before. The only difference is for this unit, we are not doing a reading assignment. So you are pretty much done reading works or the articles out of the textbook. Instead, for the reading aspect of this module, you'll actually be reading your peers' essays. So we're doing a peer revision with this one. This will be our first peer revision. So the readings that I have for you out of the textbook are to review chapter 4 again if you need to. This chapter you've seen several times now in the modules, because this is about writing an essay. So if you need to go back and just refresh your memory on identifying your main point or creating an introduction and conclusion, then you can do that. Then the other thing that I want you to make sure you look over is the section on using a peer review to obtain a reader's perspective. This is something new for this unit, and this is our only peer review that we'll be doing within the class. And the peer review is very common in writing classes, and so we've used discussion boards so far to do collaboration and response, but this one will be specific to your essay. So what you're going to do is you post your essay and they'll respond to you. So this is again the essay assignment that you can look at again. It's the same one as the previous module. So keep in mind we are using the same essay assignment. We're not moving on to a different essay assignment. So you're using that plan that you made to make a rough draft. So this is where you're going to upload your rough draft. So the first step is to write your rough draft, because you have to have that to do the first three assignments in this unit. So once your rough draft is done, you'll just hit start assignment and you'll submit it. These are the requirements for the rough draft. You will not write your rough draft in sections like this. Sometimes students think this is what it's supposed to look like, and that's not what this is for. This is just explaining what you're doing. So the three elements that you have to have are an introduction paragraph, three body paragraphs, and your conclusion paragraph. So make sure that you have those sections of your essay done. You won't put the headers on there, but you'll have those sections of your essay. Obviously, because it's a rough draft, it will be rough, and you will have there's some errors in there. If you don't feel like it's fully developed or you don't feel like you have everything in there correctly, that's okay, because the whole point of doing a rough draft is to get some feedback from me so that your final draft will be even better. So the goal would be that you're going to get quite a few comments on your rough draft, but as long as you did a complete draft, you'll get all 50 points. I'm not going to grade you on your grammar and that kind of thing. I'm only grading you on whether or not you completed a draft. The final draft then should be a very good grade because you will have all this feedback from other people and you can make a lot of improvements to your essays. So there should be very few comments on your final draft when you submit it for your Module 7, and it should be, that's the one that I will grade using a rubric and everything. So that should be a really good grade. So you're going to submit that. As soon as you get your rough draft done, go ahead and submit it there. And then you're going to submit it 3 places. So you will submit the same rough draft 3 different places. You'll submit it to the assignment that I showed you. Then you'll post it on this discussion board, which is the peer revision discussion board. Make sure you post it fairly early because you want your peers to have plenty of time to respond to you. If you post it at the last minute, you probably won't get any responses. So just so you know, and then you won't get that feedback in order to create your final draft. So just keep that in mind. So you'll post your essay and then wait a couple of days and then go back in and see if anyone else has posted. Now, the response posts, you'll respond to 2 of your peers, and of those 2 that you selected, you'll read their essays, and then you will create a reply post. The reply post, you do one of 3 things, and it depends on whether you're the first person to reply, the second person to reply, or the third person to reply. If you're the first person, you're just going to answer the questions in the textbook about their essay. If you are the second or third person to reply underneath that same essay, then you will find 10 sentences that need revision. And the reason I do this is because that's really the helpful feedback, is to get those 10 sentences. And there are only so many ways you can answer these questions. So I don't want person number 3 copying person number 1's answers, because there's only so you read somebody else's response and you're going to let that influence how you think of the essay. So instead, if you are the second person or third person, then you are just finding sentences that could use improvement. This may be grammar problems, it may be issues with capitalization, punctuation, that kind of thing. Or it might be a sentence that you don't think read very well, or you think that they maybe need to delete it, or maybe they're missing a sentence in between or something like that. So we're just finding errors or other types of issues to correct. So just keep that in mind. This discussion board, hopefully, if you post it early enough, you should get 1 or 2 students responding to you, and you'll get some feedback. The third place that you're going to submit your essay is the online writing lab. So I have the link here that you can follow, or you can also do it on the submission page. So this is, if you hit start assignment, that's just the spot to upload their comments. That is not the spot to submit it to the Writing Center. So what you do is you fill out this form. So you click on the link to the form, and this is what it looks like. You're going to type in your date, your name, and your student ID number, and then you're going to type in your email address. Now, your email address needs to be one that you actually check, because that's how they're going to respond to you. Sometimes students put more than 1 email in there so that they make sure that they get a response. And then you're going to tell them the class, and then you can answer some of these questions. Most of the time, these questions are just used to kind of help the person at the Writing Center give some better feedback to you, some more specific feedback. So if you know, for example, that you have a problem with commas, you could put that in there for one of your weaknesses. So then they know that that's something that they can look for and help you with. You'll browse and upload your file, and then don't forget to hit the submit button all the way down here at the bottom. So you want to do that fairly quickly. They do need 2 business days to respond, so 48 business hours to respond to you. So that's why I put you have to have it done by November 10th. You have to have it submitted by November 10th to the writing lab, because if you don't, then they won't give you a response in time to finish the assignment. So you're getting their feedback back, and then once you get their email in your response in your inbox, then you will download that essay out of your email, save it to your computer, and then upload it by clicking on Start Assignment. So there are quite a few steps to that. Make sure that you get it done early, just like the peer edit where you have to wait for other people to post their essays. This is one of those that you're going to have to wait for their feedback before you submit the file. So the file itself, you don't have to submit until the end of the module, November 14th, but you do have to wait for them to respond, and our module is due on Sunday night, so they won't be responding to you over the weekend. So if you submit it Saturday morning, there's no way that they'll get it back to you for Sunday night. So just keep that in mind. The grammar review for this one is commas, everybody's favorite topic. And so then you'll have your comma quiz that you take just like you had before. So that's the module. Like I said, we're kind of in the middle here. This one is going to be the most writing because hopefully you'll get a good enough rough draft and you'll get a lot of good feedback that for module 7, all you're doing is making the corrections to your existing essay that you've already written. So that's a little bit more hunting and picking through your own writing, but you're having to just write less overall. So that's the goal with this one. If you have any questions, be sure to email me.